The Milwaukee Brewers just shocked everybody as they just got their first win of the playoffs in what was the best win I have seen maybe ever, but for this entire season for the Milwaukee Brewers. We're going to be breaking everything down in this game, including Jackson Chourio leaving the game, Freddy Peralta, and also taking a look at tomorrow's starter, Quinn Priester. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to break down here in this video. The game is ending moments ago, and we do have a lot of updates to get into. So before I do jump into this video, if you want more videos like this, post-games, egg videos, pre-games, everything like this, multiple videos every day coming, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join me here on the channel. We're going to be covering everything Milwaukee Brewers here in this postseason. But this game was something to behold. And going into this game, 9 runs in the first 2 innings for this Milwaukee Brewers team. They just put on an absolute show. Not just the offense, but Freddy Peralta as well. And I mean, heading into this game, I'll be honest, I was very confident with the Brewers, but I did not expect this by any means. Everybody in this lineup had been on base by the second inning, and going throughout this game, having everything play out the way it played out, the conversation of are they going to be as good as they were before the break after their bye to the NLDS, all questions were answered here in this game. And I mean, just taking a look at how things played out, 13 hits, 9 runs, 6 hits on 3 runs for the Cubs, who had 3 home runs, being their only runs here, and 16 total bases, of course, being a good portion of their home runs, with 1 error. It goes to show kind of how much this Brewers team took on the offensive side of things for their team and how they went up against their opposing pitchers, whoever it was in whatever instance for this entire Cubs lineup. I mean, 17 total bases, just 1 more than the Cubs, who did ultimately 3 home runs, 12 you're getting there, at least out of that. And then ultimately a few more hits, but it just goes to show a double to start and take the lead back in the first inning and how everything played out. Jackson Chourio getting up 3 times in 2 innings and hitting in all 3 before coming out of the game, and we're going to break that down here in a moment, and we do have a few kind of small updates to this point about all of that. But going into this game as well, the offense was absolutely firing, like I said, and I don't think we could have really asked for much more from this team. No home runs here in this game from the Brewers side of things, but coming into it here, you see Jackson Chourio, 3 hits, Bryce Turang, 2 hits, William Contreras, 2 hits, Yelich, Vaughn, Frelick, Durbin, all 1 hit and 2 from Blake Perkins, with 2 from Zeri, 0 and 2 at-bats from Joey Ortiz, but 2 walks on his side of things. So regardless of how things played out on this side of things, from hitting the ball for everybody, Joey Ortiz, still a great game. No hit, but 2 walks. The plate was there. All of that adding on top of this Brewers lineup, on top of this offense to score runs with how they were playing. And going into this game, of course, Isaac Collins, Brandon Lockridge were on the bench, coming in here for Jackson Chourio, pinch run, and then also in the field. But you go down through this lineup as well. You get Jake Bauers in for Andrew Vaughn, coming in there. Walk from him. Can't really complain about that once again either, but getting this lineup ready to go in a game like this is exactly what Pat Murphy wanted to do. And not just for the offense, but also the pitching. And this was one big thing that really was probably the biggest outcome of this game for the Milwaukee Brewers, is that you see this team come in here, have Freddy Peralta, you want him to go a few. There may have been a close game, but you get to use Ashby, Koenig, Mears in the bullpen, all the exact same plan that we've spoken about, 1 inning each, except for Ashby, who did come in for that final out of the inning for Freddy Peralta, but had his inning, then going. Jared Koenig, the only one giving up a hit and then a run. Nick Mears giving up that double there in the 9th. But using these guys in the bullpen, in the game 1, where you get a big lead like this, is absolutely crucial. Like this, you don't waste a lot of your arms that you have in the bullpen. Of course, Jacob Mizorowski isn't going to be in there. Would have been an interesting game to maybe see him in, but when you don't need him, don't put him in. Don't waste his arm in there. You know you may need him in a different game, so let that happen and let him sit there on the bench for this game. The same thing goes with Trevor Megill. I saw a few people mention, hey, why not throw Trevor Megill in to close the game out here, see if he can get back into regular form, even only seeing 1 game after returning from the IL. But this is another game. He showed so far in practice and everything that he's able to go. He's good to go. We saw him in 1-game scenario. He was also good in that game. So you want to save him as well for when you need the opportunity, and giving Mears, Koenig, and Ashby the game here today to close this one out. A perfect result coming from this. I don't think the Brewers could have asked for much more. Now, going into this as well, the one question that is arising is Jackson Chourio. What happened with him? We know it was an injured right hamstring. We don't know how severe. The good thing is, He was walking, he was running, he didn't grab the hamstring when he did get thrown out at first, or a reach wrist, sorry. Nothing like that happened. So let's just hope this is some soreness. And then we heard the latest update from this was during the game. They said it was just a bit of tightness. Now, hopefully this was precaution because the Brewers were already up by quite a bit of runs at that point in the game. Let's just hope this was something by Pat Murphy saying, hey, you're going to be an important part of the series. Let's get you out of this game. Let's get you, make sure you're good, because the day off tomorrow is going to be another integral piece of his recuperation, getting back into a game 2, if it is such a minor thing. But going into this right now, let's just hope Jackson Chourio is okay. Everything is good, because as we know, he's been an important part of this team, and the way that his reaction kind of showed, I saw two things, and either he's not happy to be taken out of the game, wanted to stay. That's hopefully what it was. Or he knows something hurt quite a bit more and was just frustrated that he knows this may be his last game. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but just from seeing him, hit the top of his helmet while walking down into the clubhouse, there are, some very interesting things to take away from that. Now, you probably just saw a cut in the video here. I am checking my phone because this is immediately after the game. Pat Murphy had just said, I will read this out to you guys right now. Jackson Chourio is getting out of the tube, and he's referring to an MRI. So we will know something soon, and I'm going to keep you guys updated with that here. But right now, this from Todd Rosiak is what we have, as well as just what I read from Todd Rosiak here on my phone from this notification, that Jackson Chourio is undergoing an MRI right now, and we will get the severity of that soon. So, like I said, let's hope this is all something that's just precaution. Take him out. Just tightness and nothing else, because we want him in here for this upcoming rest of the NLDS and going forward for whatever that may be. Now, one thing about this kind of game, how this all came to be, is before the game yesterday, Craig Counsell said that the Brewers don't swing because Pat Murphy tells them not to, and that was completely contradicted today. And I think that just shows the levels of Pat Murphy as a manager here. The levels that Pat Murphy has on other coaches that have been around the league on this Brewers team, spoken to this Brewers team, spoken about this Brewers team. And Craig Counsell won that. We know the history. We know that. And Pat Murphy, I think, was definitely there that, kind of being levels ahead of what this kind of game plan was for this Cubs team, and goes to show that the Brewers are always going to be 2 steps ahead here. So this is something I just want to kind of pull up because it is very funny, but also coming out about this, things like this are always coming out, and we've seen this again today where Kurt Hogg tweeted this once again. The Brewers had the roof set up perfectly, shade their dugout, and left the Cubs in the sun. People are making all these excuses for why there would be a thing, but as I'm sure we know, Major League Baseball has the final say on the American Family Field roof for all postseason games. Not just the American Family Field, but any stadium across the MLB that has a retractable roof. Also, they do the half roof for most home day games throughout the season, so hitters are not in the shadows. So all of these excuses here coming out, whatever you want to say, whatever's going on about that, but it just goes to show kind of what level that we're at right now, where we see everything like this come out, all these excuses, but the Brewers staying locked, staying ready to go here for this game. And I mean, heading into it as well, we know there are going to be big things coming up for not just this team, but also for the entire organization going into next game with Quinn Priester. Now, I'm going to take a guess. I mean, I think it might be a fair guess to say, apart from Jackson Chourio, I think we're going to see the same lineup. Everything worked here to a T today. Going throughout this lineup, throughout the order, we saw everything that happened. Everything was going right. And I mean, going throughout this, I don't see a change being made. Only one, maybe we see Isaac Collins in for Jackson Chourio. If Jackson Chourio were to sit next game, we have a day off tomorrow, so we're going to know for sure, and I'm going to keep you guys updated, like I said, throughout this video, maybe later today, tomorrow, definitely, depending on whatever happens, but that's all I have in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about today's game. I am still mind blown. I have no words. You probably see me stuttering here in this video because my mind is going 100 miles a minute from what we just saw from this Brewers team. So, like I said, I want to know what you guys think about this game. What are you expecting for next game? Are you expecting any changes? And how do you feel about Jackson Chourio's injury here today? And we're going to keep you up to date with all of that here in this or on this channel, I guess we could say, for the postseason. Expect another video tomorrow, maybe even later tonight, depending on what we get. That's all we got here. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.